Hi, friends. This is Dave Fleischman, the Free Radical. I'm just going to do a little video about my art. I don't do videos, so this will be my first one. But I am an artist, visual artist. I draw and I paint. I live in Laguna Beach. Most of my art is caricatures. That is a cartoon portrait, like you're seeing at amusement parks. I draw them in public at the beach, at parks, at events, and parties. So anyway, but also what I do is fine art, like painting masks. I paint palm frond masks. Kind of show you what I mean. This is one right here. So here's one, sort of like an angry guy. This one's not done yet. These ones, here I can't quite see, but anyway, this one is oil paint. That one's acrylic. Anyway, you get the idea. I'll go into more about that other videos, but this is just going to be a short one, just an overview of me, who I am, and what I do. So I'm an artist. That's what I do. Other things I do are I call vision painting, and this is something I do where I have a vision in my head. It's not something I've asked for, or but in some way I did. Anyway, the point is I see it in a dream, or in a trip, or a daydream, various ways to see it. But a vision in my head, I see like in my mind's eye a vision. That's just an image. It could be a form. It could be patterns, things like that, of that nature. Anywho, and then I try to remember it. I try to capture it in my brain for later reference, and then I try to make a sketch of it. Pardon me, I'm just rummaging around for my supplies. I'm going to do some painting. I try to reference the image later in my mind. Usually, if it's a good one, I try to save it, and I try to like remember a mnemonic device to remember it. Other times, I just enjoy it in the moment and let the vision pass, and I don't remember anything from it, or if I remember glimpses, it's too late to really capture it. So it's in that moment, and it's a temporal thing, and I capture maybe some small percentage, 5-10% of the visions that I see, and that's enough to work with. I don't need a lot. I mean, it's a lot to paint all these things, especially each one is super elaborate, and it takes a long time to paint something that is loyal to my original vision, and usually they just kind of suggest the vision, and that's enough for me. That's a good enough for now. There's some visionary artists. Visionary, it kind of is interchangeable. I say vision art, other people say visionary, and they could mean different things. They could have a distinction, but anyway. Someone like Alex Grey, if you know who that is. Alex Grey is a great visionary artist. It's possible he sees the things in his head that he paints, but the point is he paints things which are visionary, which are, it's like you're seeing a vision. You're seeing he paints the inside of your body together with your energy field. I can't describe it. It doesn't really do it justice. Go look at Alex Grey. Anyway, that's one example of an artist that's a visionary artist. I'll talk more about those ones, but I want to talk about my there's other artists that inspire me, like let's see, Vladimir Kush, Mark Hansen, I think it's Henson, is a visionary artist I love and I'm inspired by. I'm looking for my paint. It's around somewhere. But the reason I got into doing art, there were some reasons. I wanted to get into this because I was talking to my nephew, gosh, it was like 10 years ago, it seems like now. But he was in Scouts, and he was trying to, he had a project to learn about art. And that project included asking an artist about his trade and doing an interview for an artist. I remember doing this when I was a scout, and I was in Scouts too. And so I'm an artist now. I'm a professional artist. I can say that I make money doing it, so That's the end of that story. Um, and so his parents, my brother's family, came to me and said, "Okay, Nathan wants to interview you for his scout project, so he can learn about art." And preface this by saying he doesn't like art. It's not his thing. He's more into math. Swimming is his thing, really. But he's more into subjects that he can really dominate, that or have a clear winner, a clear answer. Let's say swimming is a clear winner of a race, and it's usually him because he's freaking awesome. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into. The point is, I just wanted to get back to. I never really gave him a satisfactory answer. I think at the time when he asked me, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to ask you about your art," everyone was around, and everyone else kind of answered for me. I didn't really have the chance to answer the question, but so I want to answer that now. Why would you want to do art? Why would anyone want to get into doing art? First of all, there's no money in it, is what the stereotype is, and that's kind of true. In some ways not. There is money. Anyway, what there is a satisfaction. What there is a skill set that allows you to communicate things that cannot otherwise be communicated. Okay, I can say things in words to an extent and express myself. But up to a certain extent, it falls short. And there's some things I can't say in words, like, how would I say this right here? How would I say that in words? No number of words, no amount of words can say that. And what if I do this and look around like that? I mean, come on. That just expresses something that you could never get through if you just tried to describe that as a story in words. Oh yeah, hey, picture me with a big mask on my face with the lines on it and a big nose. Anyway, if I just go boom, it's done. The experience is had and can be shared by many. Anyway, so here I'm working on this piece right here. This is abstract piece which I had for a long time, and I'm not liking it as much. I want to do some additional work on it, so I'm going to do that. Expressing things like. There were some times in my life, like, I remember my dad isn't an artist, but he thinks he's not, but he has drawing skills. He's an engineer, but at times I remember when he was trying to describe to me something, and words would fail him. He wouldn't be able to get through the concept adequately to me, or he could see I wasn't understanding from his words, and he would pull out a piece of paper, and he would scroll out a little diagram. Excuse me, he was an engineer, so he would draw out like a rack and pinion or something like that, whatever it was, and then I would get it because he drew a picture of it, and that would that just showed me very quickly that an image can tell things that words cannot, or can express things, can get clear concepts and stories and things like that, which could never get clear just from the words. So, and together, words and pictures together, hey, that's ideal. Like a comic strip or something, a cartoon. I'm into cartooning. So anyway. But in my fine art, I don't put a lot of words in there necessarily. Getting off the track. The other thing was going to the LA Art Museum one time as a kid and seeing the image. It's a painting called Homage to the Square. I don't remember the artist offhand. It's pretty famous. Homage to the Square. And it was a series. In fact, that was all this guy did. 3 squares, one inside the other. 3 squares, and that's the art. Different colored squares. And the different versions of Homage to the Square are the different colors he chose for the squares. Always the same design, just different colors. And I saw these. There were 3 of them lined up, and I'm like, this is art. This is what's hanging in the Los Angeles Museum of Art. This 3 squares. If this is what's hanging here, I will kill it. I will knock it out the park. And well, I haven't been hung in the Los Angeles Museum of Art yet, but anyway, I feel like I do better than that Homage to the Square. I need to pitch myself to that museum. But my point, is that the art field was just so loose and open, and when, it was like anything can go. It's up to you what you want to express, and who knows what will land, what will be chosen to be hung up. It could be just a bunch of squares. But the simplicity of it is probably what took people. And I'm going to go into the simplicity thing at some other time, but let's see. One other thing I wanted to cover. Let's see. Was that, I guess that's about it. Just, you can express things that could never be expressed. You could create worlds. You could create images, like give people a glimpse into this world that you've seen in your trips, in your journeys, that they could never see. I mean, even just in the real world, and even in the observable, objective reality, what you can capture with a pencil or with pastels or paints and show people and really take people away into another world. I mean, it's magical. People think it's magic, and it is magic. It's nothing less than magic. One time in another museum, I don't remember which one it was, but it was in LA, and I saw a painting there that connected to my soul. It was so connecting. I can't even describe it. It was like symbols, it was shapes, forms, like a rock texture maybe. I can't remember anything about it except that it connected. Maybe there were runes, but it connected with an ancient part of me. It was like, oh, some part of me remembers this. Some ancient part of me connects with this image or this style, this texture, this form, and it just resonates. And I remember that feeling and going, wow, how could an image do that to me? How could a two-dimensional image just resonate like that? And just call forth this primal feeling, instinct. I don't know what it was, but it was there. I felt it. It was palpable. And when I felt it, I was like, I know that feeling. I recognize. I don't think it was the first time I felt it, but it was there. And I wanted to also capture that. I needed to be part of the capturing of that feeling and spreading of that feeling, of that primal connection. I don't know what else to call it. I do know what else to call it, and I'll talk about it more, but right now, I'll call this one it. I'm an artist. I do other stuff. I am a musician also. I do political activism, cartooning. I do dancing. I do performance of all kind, acting, poetry. We'll talk about all that stuff I do other time. Right now, that's about it. Take it easy.